I started out on this road on YouTube about 2 years ago because of people who inspired me to have my voice heard, to speak out against things that were going on in our entertainments that did not reflect the good nature, unity, fun, escapism that they had represented in the past. They were being used. They were being used for something different, to express ideas, concepts, beliefs that were divisive by nature, and were disingenuous. They talked about inclusion, diversity, things like that, but they're really not about that. It's about reinforcing bad ideas and dividing people. And I watched this group of friends, people who became friends because they were all basically saying the same thing about what was being done with Star Wars creatively and ideologically. And they fought the system. They fought a system. They fought access media. They fought what we would call shills, people who reinforce the narrative of a company so that they can get special treatment or look a certain way or grow their platforms. There's a lot of different expressions and ideas came out from various people all across different forms of media. But it was this cluster that eventually called themselves Fandom Menace, that were a very positive space. And as much as complaining as was going on, it was a positive space because it was people who were fighting for our modern myths. That fandom that we once had, where everybody was included. You know, you always have a jerk somewhere. You always have an isterophobe somewhere out there. People are different. People are going to have different opinions. But generally, fandom has been a positive space. Or tried to reflect a positive space for the enjoyment of whatever you are a fan of in science fiction, fantasy, whatever. And for 2 years, I watched these people go through hurdles, get attacked in the mainstream media, websites, creatives, the fans that they whip up, you know, that they like attracts like. So if you've got a terrible divisive culture that you're creating, you're going to attract terribly divisive people, very hateful people. And while all this was happening at the same time, some of these people were being called toxic ists and phobes and labeled and doxxed and attacked and just every awful thing you could imagine, spurned from the most base emotions, most negative emotions that a person can have. And I stood with them, started writing books about them, not just about them, but about the pushback against real toxicity. And it took until an event happened that exposed that true toxicity, the source of it, for a lot of us in the fandom to come together. And what happened from that? What happened from that unity? That expansion upon unity. All of us in our different dispositions and how we see things and whatever our grievances may be with Star Wars. But the recognition of a bad company culture that brought a small cluster of people together 2 years ago. And then most recently, that recognition again by a wider audience brought even more people together outside TFM. What did that accomplish? Well, in the end, it accomplished bringing people together who haven't talked to one another because of a hashtag or because of false narratives that have been pressed by the media and creatives that hold disdain for their very fandom. And then it brought together $38,805 for for St. Jude's. Isn't it amazing what we can do when we come together through all our differences, our the way that we perceive things, what we can accomplish when we come together as a positive force for good? Like, I'm not going to lie, more than a couple people on this panel are those that I consider friends. Like friends that I can reach out to, I can call and talk to. But a few of these are people that I've only talked to in passing. One or two, someone that I've never even spoken with. Seeing these people come together, seeing what our fandom, any fandom really, what the Star Wars fandom is capable of when we unite together to do something good, is worth more than any fight, any misconception, any grievance, any difference of opinion, anything that, any heated discussion that we've had through our various mediums or channels or fan bases for various people can overcome that and do something really good. I don't know Star Wars theory. I've never talked to the cat. I've watched his videos. I've agreed and disagreed. But in the last couple of weeks, he's been a leader amongst many other leaders that have stood up for themselves or their beliefs or the fans. We've seen many different leaders rise from this rebellion against a company culture that doesn't appreciate those who love the material that they are working with from the past or present, depending on who you are. I am proud of everyone who participated in this, in the chats, those who donated, those who couldn't, those who just were there in support, shared out the link, put the message out there. This is probably one of the most beautiful things that I've ever seen happen since I became a part of this YouTube game. And I know I'm just a little fish. I'm just a guy who's writing books about a consumer backlash. But I think all of our voices matter. I've always said that. All of us. Whether you have a channel or a blog, on any platform, whether you're just a voice in the chat, someone who supports your favorite creator, all of our voices matter. And all of the noise that we've made in the last couple of years, the friendships that we've made or lost, the access that we've gained or lost, all of it, all of the labels, all of the names, all of the attacks, all of the doxing, everything, all the people out on social media who want to defame you, come after you because you're not bending the knee to a toxic culture, a truly toxic culture of division. All of that meant something. All of it has meant something. This event, this wonderful, this beautiful event took place in part because of those of us who stood up, whether you're Fandom Menace or not. All of our voices added to this. And what happened here, Star Wars Theories channel, isn't the result of simply the Fandom Menace. It was the result of a fandom united. And the good that we can do. I am proud of all my friends. I am proud of all the people on this panel. Everyone who donated, everyone that was in this chat. You guys helped to make a difference. And we will continue to make a difference as long as we stand united. You don't need to be a Fandom Menace. We just need to be a fandom united. Hail to my brothers and sisters in the chat. Be good to each other. Peace.